Oh, the places you'll go, the stories you'll hear. On this splendid day we gather near to dive into books to worlds far and wide at John Humbert, Georges Creek, South Penn, Western Port School side. A hearty thank you, families and students, for coming. Your eagerness for reading is truly heartwarming. With open books and open hearts we roam through tales and adventure from the comfort of school and home. And let's not forget a special cheer for First People's Bank, whose support is dear. For reading and buying books, they've taken the lead, ensuring our after-school students read and succeed. At John Humbert, we have a trio so fine. Mr. Duncan, Mr. Blank, Mrs. Hendershot Shine. A professor, a superintendent, a ranger so keen, bringing stories to life, setting the scene. Over at Georges Creek, the tales are spun by Dr. Bambara, Mrs. Kemp, Mrs. Enright, each one. From Allegheny College to the great outdoors, their stories open up magic doors. South Penn welcomes with open arms Mr. Caparelli, Mrs. Fraley, their charms with roles so vital in governance and education. They bring reading to a new fascination. And at Western Port, the tale doesn't end. Mrs. Lepley and Miss Dixon, on them we depend. Board member and ranger with books in their hands, spreading joy and knowledge across the land. Let's also extend a warm thank you to the readers from Braddock Middle School, from joining our celebration, making reading cool. Their participation adds to our festive mood, showing that in books, we're all inclusively included. So let's start this journey without further ado, with thanks and excitement to each one of you for joining this celebration of reading's great power, making this, my dear friends, a most memorable hour. Welcome to Read Across America. Let the stories begin. May the magic of reading in your hearts always win. Thank you one and all for being here today. Let's turn the page. There's so much to say.
Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard, and by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal. Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his breakfast cereal, but in my breakfast cereal, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. In the carpool, Miss Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got a seat by the window too. I said I was going to be scrunched. I said I was going to be smushed. I said if I don't get a seat by the window, I'm going to get car sick. No one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At school, Miss Dickon liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of an invisible castle. At singing time, she said I sang too loud. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said that Bill Parker was his best friend and Albert Mayo was his next best friend, and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, the ice cream part falls off the cone and lands in Australia. There were 2 cupcakes in Phil Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mom gave him a piece of jelly roll that had little coconut sprinkles on top. Guess whose mom forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That's what it was. Because after school, Mom took us all to the dentist, and Dr. Fields found a cavity in me. Come back next week, and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'm going to be in Australia. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot while we were waiting for my mom to get the car. Anthony made me fall where it was muddy, and then when I started to cry because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby. And while I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I'm having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, I told everybody. No one even answered.
Hello, anybody?
So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with white stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes. But then the shoe man said we're all sold out. They made me buy plain white ones, but they can't make me wear them.
Mm-mm.
When we picked up Dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with the coffee machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was careful except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with his phone, but I think I called Australia. My dad said please don't pick him up anymore. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. There were lima beans for dinner. I hate lima beans. There was kissing on TV. I hate kissing. My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain. And I had to wear my railroad train pajamas. I hate my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and Mickey Mouse Nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not with me. It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Mom said some days are like that. Even in Australia.